In the tapestry of content I've woven through my videos, the threads have predominantly colored the rich and profound philosophy of Stoicism, exploring its principles, virtues, and timeless relevance. Each video, like a carefully placed stitch, has aimed to unravel the complexities of Stoic thought, guiding viewers through the tranquil corridors of self-mastery, resilience, and inner peace. Stoicism, with its emphasis on personal ethics informed by a systematic understanding of the natural world, has been the cornerstone of our philosophical exploration, inviting a contemplative dialogue on how to lead a meaningful and contented life amidst the inevitable ebb and flow of fortune. Today, however, we venture into uncharted territories, steering away from the familiar shores of Stoicism to embark on a solitary journey with the legendary Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's most renowned swordsman, artist, and philosopher. This video takes a deep dive into Musashi's contemplations on solitude, a theme that transcends the mere absence of company to touch the profound realms of self-discovery and personal enlightenment. Unlike the communal and duty-bound nuances of Stoicism, Musashi's philosophy invites us to embrace the quietude and introspection found in solitude, exploring how this deliberate detachment from the external world can lead to the ultimate mastery of the self and one's craft. Join me as we traverse the path less trodden, uncovering the wisdom nestled in the silent whispers of solitude, according to Miyamoto Musashi. So, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Learning to live without anyone is an underexplored field in our quest for understanding and growth on the path of life. Musashi Miyamoto, the legendary swordsman and samurai philosopher from 15th century Japan, bequeathed us valuable lessons about strength, balance, and mastery. His life is woven with threads of solitude and learning, offering a unique perspective on how to embrace existence without depending on others. From his youth, Musashi immersed himself in solitude to forge his path, rejecting the comfort of social conformity and preferring austerity and isolation. In that solitude, he found a singular strength, a wisdom that is unveiled only when we face the echo of our own thoughts. Musashi's path was not easy. Living without anyone is not a simple task. However, his story reveals that solitude can be a relentless but essential master. He learned that self-discipline and self-sufficiency are fundamental tools for thriving in the absence of constant companionship. Solitude, in this sense, is not a void, but a blank canvas on which to paint one's existence. During his days of seclusion, Musashi not only perfected his swordsmanship, but also cultivated his mind and spirit, making it his ally in his internal battlefield, where he confronted his weaknesses and molded his strength. He learned to face life without depending on others, transforming the absence of companionship into an opportunity for personal growth. His philosophy was based on the idea that true mastery comes from oneself, not just from technical skills, but from the ability to be autonomous in body and spirit. Living without anyone does not imply total isolation, but the ability to find fulfillment within oneself, to be a companion and guide on the journey of life. Musashi did not dismiss the importance of connecting with others, but advocated for not depending emotionally on anyone else. He believed in the strength of human bonds, but without losing one's identity in them. This perspective challenges the conventional notion that happiness and fulfillment can only be found in the constant company of others. The story of Musashi Miyamoto is a fascinating journey towards self-sufficiency and inner wisdom. His legacy invites us to explore solitude not as a final destination, but as a path towards self-awareness and personal mastery. In a world where emotional dependence is the norm, his teachings resonate as a reminder of the importance of being masters of our own destiny. The solitude that Musashi embraced was not an existential void, but a fertile space for growth. His retreat to the mountains did not imply total isolation, but rather a conscious immersion in his own being. This radical approach to self-discovery led him to understand the essence of living without depending on others. The fundamental lesson that Musashi offers us is the ability to find strength and wisdom in solitude instead of seeing it as a weakness or a lack. Modern society often instills the idea that being alone is synonymous with isolation and sadness, but Musashi challenges that notion by turning solitude into fertile ground for self-determination. Musashi's story teaches us to cultivate a deeper relationship with ourselves. In the silence of solitude, we have the opportunity to explore our innermost thoughts, confront our insecurities, and discover our true strengths. Solitude thus becomes a mirror, showing us who we truly are when we are not influenced by external expectations or pressures. Learning to live without anyone does not mean completely renouncing human connections. Musashi understood the importance of social interaction and meaningful relationships. However, he advocated for building these relationships from a place of internal strength, without depending emotionally on others for our own happiness or stability. Musashi's most valuable teaching in this regard is that true freedom lies in being able to find happiness and inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Emotional dependence on others can lead to a sense of emptiness when those connections fade or change. On the other hand, cultivating a solid relationship with oneself provides an unbreakable anchor, a constant source of strength and joy. Musashi found in solitude not only a refuge, but also a training ground for his mind, body, and spirit. His commitment to self-sufficiency and personal mastery is reflected in his daily practice, where every solitary moment became an opportunity to perfect his skills, both in the art of the sword and in the development of his character. For Musashi, solitude was a state of freedom, not confinement. It allowed him to freely explore his own limits, face his fears, and aspire to reach a higher level of excellence in every aspect of his life. The absence of external distractions provided him with unwavering focus, a mental clarity that was reflected in his ability to make bold and precise decisions on the battlefield and beyond. His focus on living without depending on others was also manifested in his work ethic. Musashi understood that to achieve mastery in any field, one must commit deeply, work tirelessly, and be one's own motivator. This mindset of self-sufficiency and persistence is an invaluable lesson in a world that often tends towards quick gratifications and depends on external validation. The solitary warrior Musashi also teaches us about the importance of adaptability. Although he sought solitude for his growth, he did not cling to a single way of thinking or method. He was flexible in his approach, learning from various sources and adapting his skills and strategies according to the situation. Ultimately, Musashi challenges us to find a balance between solitude and human connection. His story reminds us that self-determination and inner strength do not exclude the possibility of having meaningful relationships. Rather than seeking validation or emotional security in others, Musashi urges us to strengthen our relationship with ourselves and then share our integrity with the world around us. Living without anyone, according to Musashi, is not an act of seclusion or emotional detachment, but a journey towards independence, authenticity, and personal mastery. His legacy invites us to embrace solitude as an opportunity for self-reflection, growth, and the realization of our highest potential. The essence of Musashi lies not only in his ability to wield a sword, but in his deep understanding of human nature and his constant pursuit of excellence. He challenged social conventions and the idea that happiness and fulfillment could only be achieved through external validation. His life shows us that learning to live without anyone is not simply being alone physically, but rather a mental state of emotional and spiritual independence, of finding strength in one's own company, of finding joy in inner exploration and self-reflection, rather than constantly seeking the approval of others. Musashi teaches us to seek approval within ourselves. Furthermore, his philosophy transcends the idea that solitude is synonymous with sadness or isolation. Instead, it invites us to see solitude as an opportunity to grow, learn, and discover our true identity. In a world full of noise and distractions, Musashi reminds us of the importance of finding moments of stillness to understand who we really are. The key to his teaching lies in the development of internal strength and integrity. Musashi did not cling to the opinions or expectations of others. He remained true to himself and his constant quest for excellence. His example challenges us to embrace our uniqueness and live our truth regardless of external opinions. Learning to live without depending on others, according to Musashi, is not an act of emotional or social isolation, but a journey towards freedom and self-realization. It is the ability to keep our own inner light shining even in the darkness, to be masters of our destiny, and to find peace within ourselves. In conclusion, Musashi Miyamoto, through his life and teachings, provides us with a map to embrace solitude as an opportunity for growth, strength, and authenticity. His legacy inspires us to find our inner voice, to cultivate the courage to face solitude as an ally on our path to self-determination and fulfillment. The essence of living without depending on others, as Musashi teaches us, is not a rejection of human connection, but a brave quest for emotional and spiritual independence. Letting go is not just a phrase, but a life philosophy that unfolds with the subtlety of a haiku. Musashi, with his sharp sword and even sharper mind, teaches us that clinging to what no longer serves us is like trying to hold water between our fingers. Life flows, and clinging to the past only immerses us in stagnant waters. The Japanese warrior, famous for his combat skills, surprises us by showing that true mastery lies in the ability to let go, release, and move on. In a world that often urges us to treasure, accumulate, and possess, Musashi's wisdom emerges as a breath of fresh air, reminding us that true freedom lies in the lightness of detachment. Musashi invites us to participate in the dance of change, where each step carries the promise of transformation. By clinging to what is no longer meant to stay, we drag the past along like shadows of ourselves. Musashi, with his keen perception, shows us that life is a series of fluid movements, a constantly evolving dance. Imagine Musashi with his katana unsheathed, facing life's challenges. His agility comes not only from physical skill, but from his ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Letting go is not giving up. It's dancing gracefully on the stage of the present, accepting that each moment is unique and fleeting. Musashi, the master of detachment, urges us to shed the expectations that bind our souls. He reminds us that expectations are like invisible shackles, limiting our ability to enjoy the moment. How many times have we felt disappointed because reality did not match our meticulously constructed expectations? Letting go involves freeing ourselves from the self-imposed chains of expectations. Musashi guides us towards emotional freedom by teaching us that, by releasing our expectations, we allow life to surprise us with its unparalleled creativity. True beauty lies in the ability to marvel at the unknown. The wise warrior shows us that letting go is an act of courage, not weakness. Clinging to the known may provide a momentary sense of security, but it also prevents us from growing. Musashi, on his spiritual journey, encourages us to shed the layers that limit us and embrace the possibility of the new. Life, like nature itself, thrives in the constant cycle of growth and decay. Letting go opens up space for new experiences, allowing us to explore the vast landscape of possibilities that lies before us. By freeing ourselves from the chains of the past, we create space for personal flourishing and the expansion of being. Musashi Miyamoto, in his timeless wisdom, propels us to live in the now. Obsessing over the past or worrying about the future prevents us from appreciating the richness of the present. Life, ephemeral and fleeting, slips through our fingers as we cling to what no longer is. The samurai teaches us that letting go is a gift we give ourselves. In the present, we discover the fullness of existence. Happiness, peace, and fulfillment are not found in the past or the future, but in the present moment. Letting go means leaning on unnecessary worries and fully immersing ourselves in the experience of the hour. Musashi Miyamoto, with his sharp sword and penetrating gaze, challenges us to be authentic. Letting go is not just about releasing the external, it's also a journey inward. By freeing ourselves from the masks we wear, we discover the truth of who we are. Authenticity, like the blade of a well-forged sword, shines with a unique light. Musashi encourages us to embrace our imperfections and celebrate our quirks. Letting go means stripping away the need to be perfect and embracing the chaotic beauty of being human. On the path of Musashi Miyamoto, we find a guide to letting go, a philosophy that transcends times and cultures. The samurai, with his sword and wisdom, shows us that true strength lies in the ability to let go, in the bravery of releasing what no longer serves us. Letting go is an art, a dance between the past and the present, between expectations and reality. In the lightness of detachment, we discover the freedom to be truly ourselves. Musashi Miyamoto, despite living in an era marked by war and conflict, bequeaths us valuable lessons for everyday life. Letting go is not only relevant on the battlefield, it's an essential tool in our quest for inner peace and happiness. Imagine life as a garden and each experience as a flower that blooms and eventually fades. Musashi, the wise gardener, teaches us to enjoy the beauty of each flower in its moment, without clinging to the inevitable wilting. Letting go allows the garden of life to bloom with vibrant colors and intoxicating fragrances. In his teachings on letting go, Musashi introduces us to the subtle art of forgetting. The past, with its triumphs and defeats, can become a weight that drags down our souls. The warrior urges us to learn from the lessons of the past, but also to free ourselves from its yoke. Conscious forgetting does not mean denying history but releasing its power over us. Musashi encourages us not to carry resentments, guilt, and regrets. On the blank canvas of the present, we can paint new experiences without the shadows of the past dimming our creativity. In the realm of relationships, Musashi offers us a unique perspective on detachment. We often cling to people as if they were possessions, hoping they will fill the voids in our lives. The samurai reminds us that healthy relationships bloom in mutual freedom, not in possession. Letting go in the context of relationships means allowing others to be who they are without trying to change them according to our desires. Authenticity in human connections arises when each individual can flourish independently and love and friendship become a harmonious dance of free souls. Musashi, the master of martial arts and life philosophy, guides us through the complexities of farewells and new beginnings. Letting go is not always easy, especially when it comes to saying goodbye to people, places, or chapters in our lives. However, the warrior shows us that in every farewell lies the seed of a new beginning. Parting with grace and openness allows us to embrace the future with enthusiasm. Each chapter we close is a blank page, waiting to be written with new experiences and discoveries. On the path of letting go, Musashi hands us the sword of resilience. Life, with its inevitable flow of challenges, can sometimes seem like a fierce storm. Resilience, the samurai teaches us, does not lie in resisting the storm, but in learning to dance in the rain. Detaching from the idea of an obstacle-free path allows us to embrace adversity with courage. Resilience is forged in the crucible of difficulties, and letting go provides us with the flexibility needed to face life's strong winds. On Musashi Miyamoto's journey towards detachment, we discover a treasure trove of wisdom that transcends the boundaries of time. Letting go becomes a mantra that resonates in the hearts of those seeking peace and freedom. The philosophy of the wandering warrior invites us to reflect on our own lives. Where are we holding on too tightly? Where could we free ourselves to allow fuller growth? Musashi challenges us to be brave in our quest for truth and to embrace life's constant dance with grace and detachment. In the mirror of Musashi's teachings, each of us finds the strength to release the chains that limit our existence. Letting go is not just advice. It's an invitation to live fully with the freedom to be truly ourselves. In the echo of Musashi's sword, we find the melody of freedom that resonates in the soul. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day.